Okay, track fans, so here I am, got an old school car from Pat Backers. This is kind of what I'm expecting, so let's give it a little cruise. Nicely round the hairpin. Okay, so a couple of laps nicely around there. One more lap, just a good measure. So we've got that going on. And this is like, you know, the enjoyment I'm having. Quite quick round there. We'll bring it in underneath the track fans gantry. Okay, so the problem I have with the Anglia, the Golf Mark 1, beautiful bit of kit. Look at that. The Anglia and the Jaguar Inspector Morse. Let's see. Right, just to save time, here we go. Okay, so see how that comes out? So you have to drive really slow around that corner. So let's try it again. And then as soon as you get down here, straight out. So let's give that another whirl. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. So nice and easy around the corner. Holds all right down there, comes down here. Holds it well around there. Okay, this is going better than it did earlier. So it just doesn't, you just give it, it's just gonna fall out. So I did take it slow round there. Right, let's bring it back. Try the Inspector Morse car. Okay, I'll bring it around. Just made it round there. Okay, this is good. It's stuttering a bit. I'll just bring out the braids a little bit in a second. Okay, didn't quite like that corner, but this is the point. Okay, right, let me just sort out the braids. Okay, see if that helps it a bit. Yeah, that's giving it a lot more power now. See, it just won't stay in there. Okay. Or there. Okay, so you get the gist. And that is happening with the Anglia, the Jaguar, I'm taking the Mickey obviously, and the Golf GTI Mark 1. So what I need to do is figure out how I can make these three cars stable. So join me. I'm going up to the studio where my toolkit is. Come on, track fan! All right, track fans, so I'm back in the den. You can see what my problem is. I've got a little bit of a challenge going on there with the Scalextric cars. The Anglia, I've got the Harry Potter Ford Anglia, beautiful. Got the Inspector Morse Jaguar and the Golf Mark 1 GTI. So now at the time, it takes I have an idea, I have a concept, and I've been pondering on this for about 3 weeks, and in the meantime I just noticed, so not sure when it'll be at the time of releasing this, probably within the last week, my mate Dave at Slot R has just featured this Ford Anglia, different livery of course. This is the Harry Potter one. So I'm not gonna show you how to amend that. I applaud you to check out maybe this video, and he'll show you how to slightly tune and tweak that one so you can get a great result. The Golf GTI, I actually went through improving and tweaking this on my Wired on Wednesdays live stream exclusively for members. So if you want to see that, £3 a month gets your membership, and you can watch what I've done there. The results will be featured on Wired on Wednesday as well. Incredible. Just the smallest tweak has made a massive difference. So what I'm going to focus on in this video is getting the life back in this old beast so that I can go and race it and have a bit more fun than I'm already having with it. It's a beautiful model that I want to make run a little bit better. So join me down here on the bench and we'll get into it. Right then, here we go. So we'll just move those out of the way for the moment, and we're going to focus on this little puppy. So we'll take the lid off very carefully. I've undone the screws just to save us time. I mean, you don't need it in your life watching me unscrewing a car, but here we go. So how are we looking? Right, a nice, oh, that's quite loose actually. Interesting. That literally just hooks under there and then slots in, and then these screws on either side here screw it in place and then locks it in tight. I've not seen that before. That's interesting, because I can take that out and minimize the weights. In fact, oh look, it's actually Inspector Morse. What are the chances? Yeah, cool. I quite like the look of that. And then you've got, nice, the lights here are fitted. So the thing I noticed with the Golf GTI is as soon as you take this out, as you'll see if you watch it on the Wired on Wednesday, very delicate to get the lights out and back in without creating mayhem, as you would see. And then again, the rear lights here are also kind of locked in, which is cool. So okay, so the initial plan is to put a bit of weight on the front. So and what I'm thinking, so I'm just pausing for think here, contemplating, you know, as you do, is maybe gluing these tyres down and then giving them sandpaper truing. So just to make them round basically, because I can see here they don't look overly impressive, but that's fine, so we can sort it. As for the motor's pretty secure. It's pretty secure. I think I'll do, normally if I'm club racing, you would have a motor pod here anyway with a housing for the motor, and I would put just a couple of dots of glue just to stop it vibrating. So I think I'll follow Dave Slottar in this and put some blue tack just down there, just to dampen off that much movement, because as you're coming up to the corner, if you've got this movement and it's shaking the car, and you've got not so round tyres and they're shaking the car, and then you've got a really loose guide plate, as you can see here, and that's shaking the car, then inevitably it's shaking it out of the slot. So we're gonna sort that. So the first thing we need is some lead, baby, some lead. And I got some lead. I got this lead from swift16.co.uk. So Swift Slots uses this lead, which means I'm using this lead. Because that bloke, Rob Swift, he knows what he's on about. So I plan to put the smallest bit of weight where my fingers are. Right on the front end of it. Right on the front end of it. Let's do that now. So I might make a couple of cuts, because we've got this bit here where the DPR hatch sits, and I'd like to keep that there in case I do want to use a digital chip in the future. So I'm going to get the weight to go along the top there. Okay. So you can see it's a little bit long. We need to trim it off this end. Now you can go down and you can, you know, go like Uber measuring, or you can trim it down a bit, find that it's just a bit too big, and then shave it. So ideally you want it to span and be balanced, the car, so you want it to be even. So that's looking good. There. So we can plonk that on there like that. You can fix it in a number of ways. Most people will use just a dab of blue tack, really, because you can actually then shift it side to side slightly if you find that your car is slightly unbalanced when you're driving it. So I'll do that. I'll use blue tack. Fortunately, I've got some here. So what I've done there is I've just pulled the wire out of the chip while we sort this out, and then we'll plug it back in. It just gets the wires out of the way. We don't need the wires in our lives. And then we'll depress it, as in push it down. And then try and keep it away from the front axle. Which I've managed to get under. So I'll just use a little hobby knife, scalpel, just to manipulate the blue tack out of the way, so I can give that a nice spin. Perfect. Okay, and then all the gubbins are back. So we've done that. Some might say the magnet could be pulling the car downwards, creating the guide to come up. So if we took the magnet out, it would technically allow us to not have that downforce. But I'm going to leave the magnet in because it's just another thing. Let's try this first and the tyres, and then we'll go from there. Now I'm not going to glue the tyres and then sand them. I'm just going to sand them because I want this to be as lifelike, not as lifelike, but as within reach as the everyday guy can do it without having to start doing like mechanics. So all we've done is we've opened it up and we've plonked a bit of weight in there, and we're going to see how that fares. What we are going to do is just do maybe 1/4 of a turn on the guide, just to take off a little bit of that. If it's still bouncing, we'll do another 1/4 of a turn just to make it a little bit more stable. All right, so we'll try that on the track, see how that materializes, and then we'll come back. Right, and on that note, guys, let's get down there. Right then, so just following on from before, what I'm going to do is you tape a bit of sandpaper like that. You can hold it, it's fine. I'm going to actually hold it, and then you gently lower your car down onto it, the car there, and gently sand the back tyres. So one sec, let's try it out. Okay, so as you can see, getting there, I just want them to be flat, to not have any of this tread on them. So just a little bit more. Right then, so we've got the Jaguar on the track and we are ready to see. These are the two problematic corners, so we're just going in with a little bit of weight. Oh, and it's made it around that first corner perfectly as we come round and we take it through this hairpin. Oh, it's deslotted, but it's gone into the other side. That's okay. I can live with that. Let me just check the braids a little bit, just put them nicely. Right, let's get it going on. It feels a lot smoother already. Oh, little hard into that corner, I think. Right then, let's get our magnet out. I do like the way that that clips in though. That is genius. Okay, so there's the culprit there. That silver bit there. Should be able to just literally pop it out. I might just have to cut those little flanges out of the sides just to let it come out. So if you're young, get some help before you do this. I say young because quite frankly that covers that's your discretion. We'll remove the axle. I thought I'd get around it, but we'll take the axle out. That's going to work. We'll pop the motor out as well. Actually, can we get it out without disturbing the motor? Let's have a look. Take the other side off. And hopefully we can get it out without having to take the motor out. Or take the motor out anyway. There. And then hopefully we should just be able to leverage this out. It's a sticky old beast. There you go. So I've got the magnet out. Let's see if that helps. It's obviously going to affect how grippy it is to the track, of course. But will it help keep the front end in? And also, if you take the magnets out of any other Jaguars you've got or class, then that's going to make a difference as well. Right, cool. Let's put it back together. Right then. Let's set it up. Let's try it with no magnets. Right then, Jaguar. Weight, no magnets, slightly flat back tyres only. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Whoa, crashed it on the first corner. Insomnia corner has it. You can proper feel the difference with no magnet. Kick out. I've got to get used to this. Right, I can see it feels very toppy now. It's not got the support of the magnet underneath. It's deslotting even more. Might pop the magnet back in. Look at that. What a kick out. But the front end is staying in relatively well, maybe because I'm going slower and I'm compensating for the corners, or because it's utter garbage. Back to the basement. So if you remember, we're not going to go through it again. We put the weight in the front. I've put the magnet back in. I think that was a big mistake taking it out for this particular car. It's not a race car, so it's definitely going to handle completely different from what you would expect if you was into racing and stuff, or different, more race oriented brands. Therefore, I put the magnet back in, and what I noticed as well was the wheels. Oh my gosh, the tyres were so loose on the wheels. I think they were just wobbling all over the place, like side to side. So what I did was, you can possibly just see maybe a bit of the residue on here where I've glued them down. And what I'll do is I'll go back to the track in a bit, and we will, on the sandpaper, track sand it just to give it a little bit of stability. And the fronts, might just leave them as they are. We'll see how it performs. Also, because you know it's top heavy, it's lifting out of the slot. I'm thinking, just while I'm driving it, I might take that out and reduce the weight on the top of the car. Maybe that's a good idea. Let's have a quick look, see what it looks like. It's a phantom car. It's a ghost car, Albert. Look, there's no one in there. It's like going to be like that RoboCab that Elon Musk is working on. Awesome. That is a clever guy. Who saw that spaceship coming in, like, and landing there like something out of the sci-fi movie? I mean, seriously? Wow. That was awesome. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Magnet in, weight in, glued the tyres. We'll go and track sand them. I'll take the camera down so I can actually do it properly with two hands, not one-handed. And then we'll try it out and we'll see what happens with no driver. Or should we do the driver and then no driver? Yeah, let's do that, actually. Let's do with the driver and these revised mods, or, you know, just going back a bit, because I found that the first wave was okay, and then the second wave where we took the magnet out was shocking. And so there you go. We'll get that to go in there. Good. Right, I'll screw this back on. Let's get back over the track and try it out. Okay, here we are. So I'm doing my best with the lighting, but I've glued the tyres. They've glued on now, front and back. So, because they were literally just wobbling off, there was no stability. So I've glued them, and what we'll do is we'll give it a little whiz on the sandpaper. All right. So nice and steady. You just wheel it, just spinning it gently on there, side to side as well, just skimming the top of the surface. You can see some of the rubble coming off now, and we'll have a little look at those. You can still see some dark patches here, so we'll try and get that smoothed down a little bit. Let's face it, guys, it's an Inspector Morse Jaguar, right? So we're not looking for it to be like an NSR Mosler. We're looking for it to drive better than it does right now. So the secret really is to not be in a hurry with it. You know, just take your time, nicely skimming it. You'll hear it, you'll feel the resistance. Don't go too heavy because you'll just shred the tyre and it'll be pointless. Okay, that's looking good. So see how we got a nice consistent colour. That'll do. Right, let's test it out. Right then, here we go, track fans, the moment of truth. We've got a Jaguar on the track here. You can see we're going to take it round. Already, oh, it feels good already. Nicely round that corner. It's handling, it feels planted, it feels good. And we took it round there nicely. I don't know whether I'm a bit cautious around these bends because I want to try and get a feel for the car again while I'm driving it. Oh, I've got a D slot. Okay, so I was getting a bit fruity around there in honesty. But I think it's definitely driving much better than it was before. It's here. I've got an adverse camber on here, so I'm not going to beat it up too much. Okay, fix the problem. Right, what you saw there, out of control car, unbelievable. It turns out that, let me take you off here for a second, like rock and roll, talk about interruption to the test. So if you come down here, and this is unplugged just slightly, it runs power all the way through it, like crazy. So anyway, let's get you plugged back in and let's get this test back on the go. So just a couple of D slots on the adverse camber, so maybe I will take it a bit steadier into there. All right, let's keep the test going. Definitely much better. Round that corner, awesome. So I'll take it steady around there and there. That's good, that's good. This is going really well. So it's not even coming out at a blink now. Definitely getting some speed up. Look at that! Track fans, I think we nailed it! So, all right, let's bring it around, bring it in, and we'll talk over what it was. Right, let's get your track side. All right then guys, so that was pretty cool. We've got the Jaguar working like a treat. So what do we do? What we do, just to recap, weight in the front, magnet is in, glued the tyres down, and then sanded it on the back only as the starting point. And it works really, really well on the track. It really handled. We had a couple of D slots, but it's an adverse camber because of the wiring underneath due to the track lighting that I've got going on and the building lighting. I'm going under the track rather than under the table because it's just the way our system works here. Anyway, the next stage I would have done would have been to flatten the front tyres, like true them down, and I would have probably removed the interior so that it wasn't so top heavy and the like. So anyway, I tell you what I did want to share with you is I got another delivery from Scalextric. So what's you know, you've seen the Inspector Morse. Look at that. Check out this one. Look at that. I'll put a better image up on the screen. And I'm back. So yeah, very excited. So now I'm going to repeat the process of this. With this, I can feel the difference. And then when Albert and Wilf come, dudes, we can race Jaguars. Yes, mate. Anyway, right, track fans, I'll see you on the next video. I don't know what it's going to be or when it's going to be, but I'll see you soon. Keep it in the slot and have some fun. Albert, Wilf, I'll see you guys. Track fans!